Welcome to طاولةالسفرة, dinner table. I think that that's a good name for common grounds, which is where we actually gather and talk and find common grounds, basically. I wanted to tell you today a little bit about who I am and where I came from and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I grew up in Iraq during the 60s and most of the 70s. My family and I moved to the States in 1978. Since then, I've embraced the American life. I've loved every minute of it. I feel I am more American than I am Iraqi. But I don't fault Iraqis for a lot of the things that happens, because there are a lot of things that are happening, and there are a lot of it that's coming from the Iraqi side, not Iraqi, just Iraqis, but a lot of it is from the Arab side. I think if people are not educated, or they're not informed on certain things, we cannot expect them to know something that they have not been taught. Just like infants, if we don't teach them how to eat, we don't expect them to eat the correct way. If we don't teach them how to properly sit at a table and use the knife and the fork, we should not fault them for not knowing how to do that. I think the West expect a lot from the Middle East, and the Middle East expect a lot from the West, and they have not reached a way where they can actually have a common ground. Things were okay. When I came here, when my family and I came here, I was young. I think I turned 18 a couple of months after we moved here. I went to college here and I worked. During that time, after that, of course, the communications with my friends from high school and whatever relatives I had left in Iraq was very scarce. I could not reach out to them. If I wanted to write a letter, I put it in the mail. They get it about 2 weeks or so later. By the time they reply, it comes back here. More than a month later, by the time I get a response, I forget what I had written to them, and they forget what they had written to me by the time I reply to them. And we don't always receive a letter and we immediately reply. Life in the United States was really good for me. After I graduated, I got a degree in engineering. After graduating, being a female engineer was something that was a good thing to have. That's a good degree to have, and it was needed. So I was able to get lots of jobs. I applied for jobs and I got those jobs. At the beginning, the first job was very difficult. After that, it became very easy. I moved around the country because I liked different cities that I wanted to move to, and I was able to get jobs there. During that time, I realized that my friends that I grew up with in Iraq were not having the same life, were not enjoying the same prosperity that I was enjoying, and I always felt sort of guilty for not being able to share what I have with them, or not being, they're not living up to the same standards that I was living. I couldn't do anything about it. They would ask me for very minimal money. $100 could feed a family for a whole month, which was, something that's not fathomable for us. They were only during when Iraq was under the siege. I guess that's what it is. That's what they call it. When it was the food for what was it called? I can't remember. Oil for food. That's what it was. Oil for food program. After Saddam invaded Kuwait, and then the United States went there and put him back in his place, and all of that happened. So my my thought at that time is that how can I help them? I can't help them. I can't do anything about it. Then the Iraq War happened. And I thought, this is my chance. I can help my friends who are in Iraq. I can show them how life can be because I've enjoyed it here. At that time, I always thought that the United States has it perfect. They had the Constitution. They had the laws, the correct things. They had equality. They had all of that. And all I need to do is just help the United States when they're there in Iraq to help them reach that point. And so I volunteered and I went to Iraq. And I realized there that not only that I could help the Iraqis, but I was being exposed to the American side of the military. And I saw things that they were doing that was amazing. I needed education myself. All my life, I thought that a military person holds a gun and kills people. I did not realize that they are trained to build nations. So these kids, the soldiers, were in Iraq following orders to help the people of Iraq, and many of them did. Many of them were out there in the streets helping the Iraqi kids and the Iraqi people. And I can tell you stories after stories, and I will. I mean, what in the future videos, I will specifically talk about each one of those experiences that I had that would make you as an American, make you feel so proud of our American soldiers, which is what I did. I felt that when I came back, I started telling everybody about it. But what I wanted to say is that at that time, up until that time, and even shortly after that, the way that we were treated by the Americans, the way that the American public saw us, the immigrants, the Arabs, me being from Iraq, the way that people wanted to know, prior to that, wanted to know about Baghdad, wanted to know about wanted to know about the history of Iraq. There were a lot of things that I felt I'm so proud of myself. I'm so enriched because I'm here. Looking at the Americans and what they wanted from me, and I could provide all these questions that they have in their head. Why are we going to Iraq? What's going on? Why are the people of Iraq could overthrow Saddam if he's so bad? Why are we sending our people to do it? I could fill the blank and I could answer those questions. And again, I'll tell you all of that in future videos, but right now I'm just going to do an overall look at the whole thing and tell you that we were a novelty to the American people. We came here to experience the American life, and we did, and it was wonderful. We were what at that time where everybody called and said this terminology, the melting pot. And that's exactly what we did. We came to the U.S. and we melted in this pot. We still have our personality. We still have our culture. We talked about everything that we came from. My mom and dad were part of the arts and society, the community. They attended symphony. They attended the opera. They were at the university level of the School of Music. They were friends and involved in all of that. Not just attended, but they were involved. They were on the board. They did the league, everything. They wanted to do two things. One is show the Americans how happy we are that we are here, and two, give the Americans any answers that they are looking for regarding where we come from or our background and history. I remember that I used to, when I was in college, I did a skit one time in theater about how just to show people that we don't really do that, but just to show people that we don't ride camels today. That we have cars and roads and everything. So I made a joke about how our camels over there are air conditioned and it holds more than 2 or 3 people. It's equipped to where the school bus is a that kind of thing. And then I also talked about the magic carpet, where it's supposed to have come from Iraq also, and talked about that. And I put a rug on the floor and started going like this, come on, nobody was, of course it didn't move, but it was a joke in terms of this is fairy tale stuff, but it's not real. However, we do have real things. We have the culture, we have the history, we have the arts, we have the distinct things that we had, not me, but my ancestors. There's the code of law, the wheel, the writings, everything like that had come from the area that's called Mesopotamia. That is the Tigris and Euphrates were met. Even they say that the oldest bone ever found was in that area, which is supposed to be the Garden of Eden, where Adam and Eve were. So these kind of things are, and still are, like this. These are the history lessons that I don't know the details of them, but I know enough to have a talk with people and answer questions and be of value to my American friends. And in the meantime, I was becoming more and more an American into that life. I was accepted by the Americans as an American. As a matter of fact, I shock people sometimes when somebody calls and wants to speak Arabic and I actually talk Arabic, because they've never heard me talk in Arabic and they assume that I never learned it. I went to a conference last week where an Arab lady has made a cookbook of the Middle East. And by the way, I'm going to put a plug for her right now. She's a young lady, gorgeous lady. Her name is Blanche. And the book is called Feast of the Middle East. And all of her book is about all the main dishes in the Middle East. And she's American. I don't know whether she was born here or not, but she doesn't speak Arabic. And the whole time we were at the conference, we were speaking English. Then when I came back, I told her that I'd love to dub her videos into Arabic, and that way she can show it on Arabic channels too. And she asked me, she said, "Do you speak Arabic?" I said, "Yes." And she didn't know that. She couldn't tell from all the time that her and I were discussing, we were at the conference and all that. So even the people who are Arabs or have background in Arabic, I don't go off and say how Arabic I am. I am Arab. I come from Iraq. I am very proud of that part of my life. Those 18 years that I lived in Iraq were my childhood. It formed me, made me who I am today. It made me a strong person, made me this, all of that. But when I came to America, I wanted to be an American, and I am an American. I work as an American. I do everything as an American. I taught my son to feel an American of an Arabic, Iraqi background, and that's how he feels about it. He knows this is who we are. This melting pot means that we do melt into the society of the American life, but we still have our identity to where we can share it. It's an information, it's education, it's that kind of, disperse that information to the rest of the world. So when I went to Iraq in 2004, when I volunteered and went there, I realized that I needed to help. I originally, when I went, I thought that I was going to go in and help in my degree because I'm a civil engineer and we do in the pipeline, so water, wastewater, and storm was much needed. And I thought this is where I'm going to go and offer my help. But soon after I arrived, I realized that the need was much more in the Constitution and the laws that are being implemented. So diverted my attention to that side and worked with the leaders in the women advocacy groups that helped put very nice laws. If it was implemented and moved forward, then women would enjoy very good life and have at least 25% of representations in the government as well as in the business. Unfortunately, the percentage are still there, so they're still following the laws, but the quality of the women are not the ones that we had intended, we pushed for, because the Iraqi people were sold on, let's go more on the religious side rather than go on the sectarian side, and that's still being played, not as much as when we were there, but still things have not gone outside of that. I'm hoping that it will soon. We'll see. There's a lot of problems right now in Iraq, and we'll see what happens. But the point that I'm trying to say is that my side of it, when I went as an American and I wanted to help. And we ended up doing that. We helped the Iraqi people. We helped the Iraqi women. The Constitution was written and signed while we were there. And since then, there has been many elections. The parliament, 385 people. It goes up and down. Sometimes more of this and more of that, more religion, more not. But it is, hopefully will shape up and will get a good Iraqi government to where the government of Iraq, their goal is to build a country rather than tradition, and rather than insist on it being a religion country. We'll see how that works. I wanted to always be someone who will be sought after, whether it's from the American side who want to know more about the Iraqi side, or from the Iraqi side who wanted to know more about the American side, which is how I started this channel. When I started طاولةالسفرة, it's because I thought for the longest time the Arab in general, not just Iraq, and Arabs in general, they're ruining their future. Every war they get into and they think that they're going to win, they talk they're going to win, they put all the resources, they put a lot of money, they have people and guns, and they go into an extreme of planning to win a war that is, in my opinion, can be negotiated instead of it being fought, and they end up losing. And the minute they lose, they go out, they do the same thing they did 1,000 years ago. They go on TV and media and whatever and talk about how much they won. And all of it is not true because they don't win. They just tell their people they won, and their people believe everything they say. So what I started to do with this channel is let's go to the people now that we have the social media where we can actually reach out to the people directly and talk to them about raising kids. Let's raise the kids the appropriate way. Let's teach them not to lie, which is a big deal over there. People lie constantly. You can't even tell anymore how truthful they are. Let's teach kids not to fight, not to be aggressive. Let's teach them to pay attention to what's important. Let's teach the parents to pay attention to the kids and make sure that the kids are number one. Let's make sure that people over there, I hear it all the time. As soon as they have kids, and they have many of them, they don't care they don't do much with the kids. They just let them grow. They think that that's, as long as we had them, then the community is going to take care of them. And that's not true, because they need to pay attention to how they raise their kids. So I started doing this channel. I started putting some videos out there, and I got a lot of good responses. I mean, within less than a year, I have close to 900,000 followers, and I think subscribers, and I think that's a great thing. However, just like everything else, people don't do what you say. They listen, they like it, they communicate, they respond, they do all of that, but they don't actually take the lesson and move forward with it. Which is why I thought, okay, well, now I'm going to spend some time talking with the American side, well, not the American, the English side, talk in detail about who I am, what I do, why I'm doing this, and hopefully I'll earn the trust and the followers from that side in England and anywhere where people speak English, and then get the trust and get the followers from there, and hopefully we can help the Middle Easterners. We can help guide them. Ultimately, I want everybody on this side of the world to not feel so drained that we get all these people come to this country, they don't know anything, and we got to spend all this money, and we got to educate them, we've got to do all this. We want to help them. We're good people. This is what God put us on this earth, is to help others, but we cannot do any more than what we're doing. So how about if we just educate these people to the point where they can help themselves? And then I always tell the Arab side of the videos is, imagine how life would be if we grow these kids, raise them to the point where they take the future governments and they open all the resources and they open all these opportunities for our own people, to where they take over the country, they grow it to where it's more democratic, and then the West will go to the Middle East to immigrate, or they go there to get higher education, just like we're doing now. There's no reason why that wouldn't happen. There's no reason why people, just like now in Iraq, people send their kids to the United States to study. Why can't we get to the point where people in the United States send their kids in Iraq to study, because they have good higher education and they have good opportunities? There's no reason why that wouldn't happen. In Iraq and those countries were the cradle of civilization. So that was there at some point. So why can't we just get it to where it's balanced? This will not cost them the money that they put into military and losing lives and guns and battles and all of this. All they have to do is do what they're supposed to do, no cost, and just focus on the kids. And this is why this whole thing, this channel, طاولةالسفرة, dinner table, common ground, is where I based everything on. That's the foundation. And I really would love to have your support in moving this forward everywhere. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And I will do more videos, and I hope you like them all. And I hope you subscribe. Thank you.